I'm about to do my makeup, so I'm gonna put on a CD.
Better than Ezra, and it's good.
Guys, it's officially been 1 week since I last posted. That means I'm posting again. And it's been another week and I'm staying consistent on YouTube. You guys have been asking me since I moved into my new place to give you a full room tour. And the reason why it's taken me so long is because I'm literally still decorating my room. Obviously, decorating any space is a huge project. It takes a lot of time, it takes money, and it takes effort. And I've just been balancing so much, personal life stuff with finishing my room. And I'm confident to say that we are getting to a point where we are really close to finally getting my room to look the way that I've always imagined it to look. That came with a lot of trial and error. I had a couple of different bedspreads, ended up with the one I currently have, and I'm finally feeling like this is fitting for the room. And I've had a couple of different things on the walls, and I've always struggled with finding things to put on my walls around my bed. So that's kind of like the introduction to the video, because that's basically what I'm gonna be decorating. I'm gonna start off by showing you guys new additions to my room. So basically, I'm gonna start off from my last room series video. If you guys haven't seen that, you can click the link in the description. I'm going to put it down below. Before I dive into like more decorations and everything, I'm gonna show you guys basically everything that I've added since that video. So let's get into it. All right, so coming into the room, this is just like an overlook of kind of like the layout of what's going on. My bed's over here. That's what we're working with. Yep. Okay, the first new addition is this purse wall. Basically, I took these little coat rack wall installations. I had my dad drill them into my wall, and then I decorated them with my purses, my scarves, my hats, and literally everything that just didn't fit in my closet. And I also didn't know what to do with this wall, which is right next to my little office nook door, which I also really want to decorate because I can't stand when something's blank. Then I actually bought this, or I thrifted this little jellyfish that I've yet to find an actual permanent home for. But right now I put it on my lamp, my little floor lamp. She kind of works here. And then I found this little paper/foam flower from Hobby Lobby, and I also hung it on here because I haven't found a place for it either yet. So that's this relative area, which is across from my bed. Next, we have these white curtains. I'm not sure if I put these in my room decor video, like the last one I made, but they used to be burgundy, and I didn't like the burgundy because it was just like clashing with so many things in my room. So I decided to go with something simple white curtain look, and I'm happy about it. Then coming over this way, we have my vanity, which you guys know I have. And we also have this shelf that I recently just put in because I wanted something to display little things that I had. Obviously, I have my CD player that I got, and I wanted somewhere to put my CDs, easy access, you know what I mean? And I also have like random trinkets and toys that I wanted to put on here, including my Playboy magazine. I have a Miley Cyrus DVD, my SpongeBob Mad magazine. You guys can kind of like get the idea of like what's going on with this shelf. Then I have one of my records up here, and I have this little lamp for extra color, I guess. I just kind of put that there for God knows why. I also have this lion stuffed animal that I thrifted, and I don't really know where to put him, so he's kind of just living here on the floor right now. But I tend to do that. I buy things and I don't have a place to put them, but I just need to buy them. Because come on, do you see this guy? Do you freaking see this guy? He's awesome. His name's Rain, by the way, in case you were wondering. I also collected a bunch of Superstars 90s music cards, and I have like literally probably close to 100 of these, so I started hanging them up in miscellaneous places on my wall. These happen to be above my vanity. I put my fairy wings here. I was originally gonna put a little painting, but I thought the fairy wings low-key looked cool, so, and they're purple. You guys know I love purple. I have my Raven Queen drawing here, if you can see that. I also have a couple of random sticky notes on my mirror. They're like a little bit of like, things I need to remember, because I get ready at this vanity, so I'll literally put post-it notes of things I need to do, and things that I'd like to remind myself of, like the fact that I am clean, right? I'm clean. Belle is clean. Now getting into the closet area. As you guys know, at this point, I took the doors off my closets to have like more of an open look. And so I could, display some of my really cool pieces, can kind of give Hannah Montana a closet a little bit. I just kind of think at this point, it's starting to look a little bit cluttered, especially with the stuff up here. So I think I'm gonna organize that a little bit. Actually I have my hamper like underneath here because there's really nowhere else to put my hamper. So it kind of just fits right here in this section of the closet, and yeah. I also have a couple of my NSYNC photo cards up here. I just put them to kind of see how I felt about having posters on this little like column up here, which I don't really hate, but I also don't really love the look because it kind of makes the ceiling look a little bit lower than it is. And I put some of these little stars that I cut out with construction paper there. You'll also see that I added those to my door as well. So this is my dresser area. This is where I normally film. Like I'll film like kind of in this corner, and I haven't really added anything to this since you guys last saw it, other than the fact that I took a couple things off of here because it was getting so cramped. I just kind of like also need to work on the organization of this because I have this tiny little jewelry bowl that I fill with like my everyday jewelry, and it kind of just spills everywhere and gets all over my dresser. So I'm gonna try and see if there's like a more efficient, organized way I can organize this dresser. Yeah, so I'm gonna work on that. Next, we have my bed area. Like I said, I changed my bedspread, or like my comforter duvet. I had a quilt at some point. This is the third bedding choice, which I really do like the teal. I kind of like felt iffy about doing something teal, just because, you know, there's so many different colors going on here. So I originally went for something a little bit more neutral. I had a white duvet, and then I had like a yellow floral, like a light yellow floral quilt from Natural Life on top of it. And I kind of just didn't feel like that was matching the room because it wasn't as bold as it needed to be. So I went with this comforter slash duvet that I got on Amazon, which everything that I got on Amazon will be linked in the description on my storefront as well. And then I bought this Lizzie McGuire throw blanket at Walmart because why the hell not? And I wanted some hot pink. The throw pillows on my bed are kind of just like whatever right now. I collected these over years. Like the Asana pillow I've literally had since probably 2020. I've had this since 2020, but this is like, I sleep with her every night, so I had to find something to match her, hence the Lizzie McGuire blanket. I bought these pillows originally for my other bedspread. They don't really match that much, but you know, what can you do? They just exist on the bed, so we're just gonna leave them for now. As you can see, I also added some of my sequin little things that hung in my closet onto this area of the wall. My first idea was to do like a canopy style thing with some thrifted scarves that I had, but it just ended up being too difficult to sort of like figure out. We'd have to drill into the wall, and the material of my wall just isn't the most thin. So it was like sort of impossible, and I needed to drill things into the ceiling. It just became like too difficult, and I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm not doing that. We have my Hannah Montana poster, which I don't know if I'm gonna keep my Hannah Montana poster here. I think I might put a painting here, which I'll show you guys in a second, but maybe, I don't know, hasn't been decided yet. As you can see here, I have my Hunter x Hunter poster, or Hunter x Hunter, whatever you guys want to say. I added some of these little stars to my door, Spirited Away poster. I kind of just wanted to like experiment with putting posters on blank areas in my room to see how I felt about it. I don't mind this being here, but I think there definitely needs to be more of something. And the door as well, it feels a little bit too like, it's a little too random. But I do like the star idea, and I really want to do the stars on the ceiling because my ceilings are low. So I was kind of thinking about that. So that's currently all the changes that I've made since you guys last saw my room. And now I'm gonna get into a couple of more decorations that I bought to add on to that. Starting off with this little painting that I thrifted. It says, "I like my money right where I can see it, hanging in my closet." I haven't decided where I want to put this yet, but I know that I want it to hang somewhere in this room. So that's part one. Then I have this other thrifted hot pink polka dot glittery perfect painting that I found at the thrift store. It says, you know, all the essentials that you need in life, guys. Come on, laugh out loud. Come on. Come on. Also happens to match my bed. And I really just want it to be on this wall, possibly. Next, I have this painting of me, gifted to me by a lovely artist that actually painted me. This is a print, but the painting is stunning, and I really want to find a spot for it in my room. Even though, you know, we're running out of wall space here, but I think that it'd be really awesome to have this hanging somewhere. Next, I actually had a bunch of like Y2k images slash posters printed off of this app called FreePrints. I actually got like the PDFs and downloaded a bunch of these photos off Etsy. So I bought like a $15 Y2K pack, downloaded all the photos, and then had them printed. So I'll show you guys kind of a little sneak peek of some of the posters. We have Aquamarine, Britney Spears Rolling Stone, we got Hilary Duff, some 16 Wishes, Jawbreaker poster. So basically just, you know, I got a bunch of stuff to cover the gaps and really add on to that really 2000s vibe. So I'm really excited about that. I also got a bunch of smaller ones. Hannah Montana, Princess Protection. So I'm super excited about this. And I bought more of my little like hanging sequins that I'm probably gonna put on my wall, more on my wall, so. Yeah! So let's get into hanging some of these bad boys up.
Wow.
So we put a dollop, I guess, of toothpaste onto the painting where we would put the nail. And then when we place it on the wall where we want it, it'll give us like a mark, I guess. Like right there. Kiss. Wow, and then you put the nail there. That is not for Tracy.
If there's not more negative space in between somewhere, your eye just bleeds it all together.
Yeah.
This has a
You're
vibe
right.
because it's a collection. If you were to put it up there and then around here, like it just becomes
yeah. That's how I've got a feeling about this.
If you were gonna do this type of thing,
Yeah.
I'd maybe put 2 or 3 across
Yeah.
and maybe a couple or 4 down.
Yeah. I'd have to
That's
like take.
really cool.
You think so?
I like
That's
that
kind
a
of scary
lot.
having it over my head, though, right?
I'm gonna fall on you.
Okay. So obviously I had my portrait hanging there, but the back of the portrait is stuck with double-sided tape and it was falling apart while being hung, so I'm gonna hot glue it tomorrow and then I'll hang it right back up on the little nail that we have there. I also decided to put this here. You guys saw it was like a bit of a last-minute choice, but it's a little cork board that I put some fabric on, and I thought I could always, you know, play around with that. Maybe even change out the fabric to a different color or whatevs, but I can always, like, the nails and the little things that hold it are just in the wall at all times, so I can take this off and put it back on whenever I want. Then we have this little section of posters, which I'm, like, kind of still iffy about. I don't really know if that's what I want, because I feel like this is pretty busy. I don't know yet. Okay, guys, it's officially the next day. I spent a lot of time last night kind of just going through random sort of clusters on the wall like my mom was talking about, because I felt like some things were starting to really blend together and it was like overstimulating me and I needed like to breathe a little bit, so I moved a couple things around, just kind of did some tedious things last night, so it wasn't that interesting. And then I spent basically all of today decluttering and organizing all of the random piles in my room, switching things around, moving things around, and I literally feel like I can breathe in my room. It's awesome. I had a pile at the end of my bed for probably going on a few months, and it felt really great to finally get rid of that and put things away and find a home for the pile instead of leaving the pile to sit there. Yeah, so basically I spent all day doing the tedious, annoying parts of the room and not the fun decorating parts, so I didn't film that just because I had to concentrate. Without further ado, let's get into the full freaking room tour. Okay, starting off first with the dresser area. Literally all I did to this area was take off some of that jewelry clutter, cleaned off the top of the dresser, and then I added a couple of posters to this little column here and basically added on to the photo wall that's already been here, but I just added a couple more things that I felt were fitting. So basically I added some Princess Protection Program, Cinderella Story, High School Musical, Camp Rock, Hannah Montana, Hilary Duff, and yeah. So this is all I did to this area, which I really like. Next, for the closet area, I took off my NSYNC posters because I like this being blank. There's so much going on in this closet. All right, that's the star of the show. I didn't really do much organization on this top part. That's gonna have to be a project for another day because I literally have no energy and it'll probably take an entire day. I took off some of the pillows on my bed, which you guys will see in a second, and I put my Asuna pillow here because she's iconic and I still need her to be displayed somewhere. I took a bunch of these boots out of here and just added in my 3 favorite pairs I thought matched the vibe, because I really didn't need like 7 pairs that were on top of each other. Then I put my lion here. Obviously he lives here and he's awesome. rain. For my vanity area, I also didn't really do much. I added those 2 posters right over there, and then I felt like I should be done. I tried initially to add like a couple up here, and it looked like too much, and I was like, nah, you know, this is already really cool. The fairy wings are really cool. I also added a poster here. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now for my actual favorite section of the room. I didn't expect this to be my favorite, but it really, truly is, and I love it. Earlier in the video, you guys probably saw there was a giant mountain of my old comforters and duvets and random sheets and pillows that I didn't use anymore. So I found a home for that, and I replaced it with 2 pairs of boots, which were in that section of my closet. So now they can be displayed here. Then obviously you saw I did this entire collage here, which I love. Okay, this is literally the best. And these 2 photos up here. Then I decided to add my white guitar in here, my Fender, because it had been living in the living room and I bring it into my room almost every night. So I thought might as well just give it a permanent place right here next to my bed, and I thought it fit perfectly. And it matched everything, so awesome. Now on to the bed section. Last night, me and my mom hung the pink painting and this painting over here, and we originally had my portrait hanging above this, which I still need to glue together so it can actually be hung. But for now, I put 2 little posters and 2 little posters there, and I actually think it looks really cute, so I'm not too mad about it, and I actually think I really like it. I also took all of the pillows that were bordering this wall here off because, number 1, they didn't match my bed really at all. It started making this area look very claustrophobic. It looked less cozy and more just too busy. I think that's like an issue that I run into a lot when I'm decorating is I kind of want to fill every single blank space, but then it gets to the point where it's like, bro, I need to chill. And then as you can see here, we have the pin board that we hung up last night, which I actually really do like this, and I want to cover it with like more photos and more personal things, and I can really play around with decorating this pin board, which is freaking awesome. I was originally going to hang more of these little sequin tassel things. The only issue is I like to sleep with a fan on, like blowing at me directly, and they were already like rattling around at night, so I was like, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna hang these little sequins in this specific area of the room, but I might end up hanging some more up in my closet or possibly in my office nook, which I didn't show you guys in this video, but it's gonna end up becoming my like music studio. So that'll be a whole other video, I'm sure, decorating that. Then we have my door. Decorating this was literally like last minute random things thrown around, but I ended up really, really liking it, so I'm keeping it. The star of the show is this Justice, I think it's a top, but it literally fits me like a dress. And it matches my bedspread and my room perfectly, so why not display it? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I put this little rack here on my door. I used to have this in my old bathroom, and like we'd hang our towels on it. And I was like, why don't I just put this on my door so I can hang hats and bags? And then we have obviously the little stars that I had put on. And then I just went ahead and added my Enter Eccentric poster right here. And I think it looks really cool. So, Alright guys, that concludes absolutely everything. My room has been through so many stages since I've moved in, and I'm confident to say that I'm very, very, very happy with how this turned out. And I feel like I've taken everything and all of my interests and things that I enjoy in life and just splattered it all over my walls, and I just love looking at it. I love looking at it. Are you kidding me? But like I said, everything that I bought off Amazon in this video is going to be linked in the description on my storefront. And then I'm also going to have the link to my posters and FreePrints in my bio. Not sponsored, but just it's really easy to print with them. And if you guys are looking for something that's a lot cheaper than CVS, I definitely recommend FreePrints for posters. Yeah, I'll have everything linked in the description. Frick yeah. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for being here, clicking on this video. Comment anything that you want to see from me down below. Is this what YouTubers normally do? Give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to turn on the notification bell. Notification me? You see what I did there? I used to say that in my YouTube videos when I was 14 years old, so I might just have to bring that back. Notification me. Ding! See y'all on the flip.